Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully working with our link component, and also we successfully working with the nav link, right? And also here how can make it as a active inactive. I hope it's very clear to you. So now they have the different type of page is successfully loaded. So now friend, in this video I want to discuss about they have the another element. So that is also comes from to our React router DOM. Before I have used it as a browser router, and also they have the another router as a hash router. So what exactly the difference between both of these? Now in this video I want to discuss about that things with you. Like here before I have used it as a browser router. Here if you want to also use it as a hash router, okay, that will be the hash and then router. Okay, that means hash router. Here if you click as a enter, and here you can see it's now successfully imported that hash router that is also comes from to our React router DOM, and that is our hash router is started. And also here we have to end it. Okay, here I want to end it. That is our hash router. So what exactly the difference? Like first difference will be our URL appearance. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go to that our project, and into the project area, now that will be actually added one of the hash. Like here now if you go to that our about, you can see now first of all that will be added one of the hash, and then that will be added our path. Okay, if you go to our contact page, now you can see first time that will be added one of the hash, and then that will be display our path. So that will be your first appearance as it will be display on the URL appearance when you use it as a hash router. Then one of the hash will be added in your URL. But if you use it as a browser router, then that will be not display any hash. And also they have the another difference as a compatibility. That means the hash router works on all server since the hash portion of the URL is not sent to the server. Hash router works on all server since hash option of the URL is sent to the server. It means when you deploy your React project into the web host in any Linux server, some of the time you may work with the htaccess file. Right, you may also configure that htaccess file. So if you are using that hash router, you don't need to configure any htaccess file. Okay, that means when you deploy it in any Linux server, automatically it generated one of the .htaccess file. So into the htaccess file, some of the time you may have to be configuration it, but if you are using that hash router, you don't need to do anything in your .htaccess file. But if you are using that browser router, some of the time you may have to change some of the configuration in your htaccess. And next difference is also as a history API. Hash router does not use that HTML history API. So if you go to that Google, and here if you also search it with the history, okay, I make it as a HTML5 history API. Okay, here if you search it with the HTML history API, here you will get a lot of the resources. Like here, that is actually web history API. So if you are using that hash router, then that will be not handling any type of web history API. But if you are using that browser router, then browser router actually uses this HTML5 history API for the navigation. That means here if you go, that means here like that is the one of the route. Okay, from to this position I want to go to that our another page, like that is also another page, and from here if you go to that back button, and you can see it's now redirect to our another history. So that is actually history is successfully saved in your browser, and that is the reason it's automatically loaded. And from here if you go to that forward, and you can see that is also successfully saved in your browser. So that is called that our web history API. Okay, so if you are using that hash router, that is not use any web history API. But if you are using that browser router actually using that web history API. So it should be save all that your data in the browser history. It should actually get this browser history data, and that will be loaded your all that component. I hope you get some of the basic idea what type of difference between that hash router, or either then you can also use it as a browser router. So better I want to now use it as a browser router, and if you click as a save all, and now that should be not display any type of hash. If you go to that home, go to that about, you can see it's very clean one of the URL. So I hope you get the point. So they have some of the different between the hash, or you can also use it if you don't want to configure your ASTXS file, then you can use it as a hash router. Rather than, I will recommend it to use that browse router. Okay. So that is the difference between both of these. I hope it's very clear to you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.